Well, welcome to the show.
This is
our view from the bench. Well, welcome to the show. I'm Brendan, taste tester for the Art Club.
And I'm Corey, window cleaner for the squash team. And happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, man. How was your week so far?
It's been good. I mean, just kind of been on a weird high ever since we did our emergency episode on Tuesday, to be honest. Yeah, enjoying
yeah, we had some fantastic news. We had to go live, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just my phone, with people knowing just so that I'm a Diamondback fan, because there's not very many of us out here in California, obviously blew up. And
true. How many out there anywhere?
Yeah, for real. And then to the point of my boss even being like, do you need time off or anything? Like, just, it's just been weird. Everyone's just been like super excited for us. And so I'm just like kind of nervous at the same time, but excited. So it's been a good week, but ready for this weekend, man. What about you?
It's been a decent week. Been working from home this week, luckily, and just putzing along. Like you said, Tuesday was great. Just been riding that. Been happy for that. Hasn't been a great start to the Lakers season, but we were visiting the champs. So we're bound to, especially in Denver. They just won for a reason. So, but other than that, we look like we're getting a decent start tonight. Hoping to not start 0-3. Looking forward to this weekend too. World Series starts tomorrow. Wait, what happened?
Looking good right now. They're up.
Is it? All right, great.
30 seconds left.
Okay, nice. Who's got the ball? We do?
No, the Suns do. KD's got it. We might as well finish this game. I'm going to do some play-by-play here. KD driving, layup. Oh, blocked. AD's got it. Foul him. Nope, not yet.
AD blocked it?
Yep. AD's going to get it across half court. Yep. Okay, 20 seconds left. They're not fouling.
Dribbling it out?
Yeah, they're not fouling. I don't know why. Oh, they finally did.
Oh, I was gonna say they're just gonna take the L like that.
No, I was gonna say,
who's going to the free throw line? AD or who got the ball?
Reeves going to free throw line.
Perfect.
16 seconds, 4-point lead for the Lakers. So.
All right, perfect. Okay, so
we'll keep an eye on that as we go. Or should we just finish this thing? Because it'll take
no. Let's
to do 16.
No. Yeah, dude. Honestly, sometimes it will. They're gonna have a timeout. They're gonna go back. They're gonna go to commercial. That's 5 minutes right there.
It'll be a challenge or something somewhere.
Exactly. No, we'll be good. We'll come back to it. We will talk about a game that did just finish, though. We'll start with Thursday Night Football this week. We had the Bucks visiting the Billies. And it was actually a pretty close game for what bettors probably thought wouldn't be so much. So I don't know what the spread was, but I think the Bills probably covered. They won by 6.
Yeah, I don't know what
24-18.
Yeah, the Bucks are.
Did you see the game?
I didn't. I saw literally. I saw the last 35, 50 seconds, whatever it was. Tampa got the ball at the 20. Baker kind of made a few plays. They had that heave ho at the end and didn't get it, but that's all I saw. I didn't see much before that. But looking at the numbers, it didn't look like I missed a whole lot. And another game that Josh Allen didn't do anything great, and they're in the possibility of losing if the ball bounces against them instead of for them. So I'm so over the Bills, man. Like I don't know what Josh Allen's going to be week to week. Your Jay Cutler topic or way of thinking is coming more and more to my thought as well. It's crazy. I don't know what to expect them week to week. And I guess if the only thing that's good for them is they have the Dolphins ahead of them, but they didn't look good last week, but I expect them to be fine. So if Buffalo makes the playoffs, I can't imagine they're going to win a game. I know it's early, but I just don't like their team at all.
Yeah, it seems weird to you lose to the Patriots last week. You barely come out against the Bucks. That last play that you're talking about, I think I told you, I watched just the fourth quarter. I watched off and on as I was kind of getting ready for this. At the end, Baker was at about midfield. He had a nice toss right to the end zone, seemed like a good throw. If Chris Godwin turns around 3 seconds earlier than he did, maybe not even that, 2 seconds earlier than he did, they win the game. They're only down 6, and as Mike Evans is pointing at him, telling him to turn around, he kind of turns and the ball comes almost simultaneously. He able to get an arm out to try to see what he could do. It just basically grazes it and hits the ground. But if he gets 2 out, that might be a catch. He's got hands. He knows. He's a great wide receiver. So it was almost right to him. It literally just hit the dirt. So it was a close game. Definitely closer than most people think it should have been. But if you look at the stat line, 31 of 40, 324 yards. That's actually not bad. 9 incompletions, 2 touchdowns, a pick,
yeah, but
7 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown. I don't know, but
your comparison
look at the score.
Jay Cutler had the same thing. His numbers never looked terrible. It wasn't about necessarily his numbers looking bad. It just the team never won or could never finish off any kind of real run in the playoffs. And I just, especially with Mahomes in the AFC, I just don't see the Bills ever getting to a Super Bowl. I just don't trust Josh Allen to get them there.
Yeah, it just has to be either a bad year or a hurt year, or I don't know, something. That's the only way, because I agree. This team just seems off. Defense isn't that great from what I see. Bucks were able to kind of drive it on them. So, how's the Laker game look?
It is over. Lakers win 195. So 1-1.
All right, 1-1. So who cares? It doesn't matter if we had to play them without Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. The point is that we won. I'll take it. Take it 1-1. We have more to talk about, though, in the NFL. Let's keep it there for now. We'll definitely talk about the NBA in a little bit. But we have the rest of Week 8 coming up this Sunday. And we're going to talk about a couple games, 3 to be exact, that we feel are pretty interesting. We'll start at the top. We're going to go with the Jags visiting Pittsburgh. It's pretty interesting. A 5-2 Jacksonville team on the road with the Steelers at 4-2. Kind of surprising that they're actually 4-2 at coming into Week 8. I know they had a bye, obviously that's what puts them there, but I saw them more like a 3-3 or 2-4, and here they are competing for the AFC North. What do you see with this game?
I mean, I'm with you, man. The Steelers being 4-2 is not what I thought. I'm with you. I figured with Mike Tomlin there, they'd be a 3-3 team. You know, they're always at 500 or right above because he's never finished under. But the Jags are good, so I'm kind of interested to see how this goes. The Jags have looked much better the last couple of weeks. They seem to have, I don't know, maybe going to London where they should be home there. I guess they played really well and found themselves on a road trip in a sense. I don't know that the Titans are done. The Colts are, going with Minshew the rest of the year. The Texans are young, so the Jags have nobody really chasing them. That's, I think, at least worth worrying about in the AFC South. So if they can just take care of business, they're not going to beat the Chiefs in the AFC as number 1 seed because they already lost to them, so they lose the tiebreaker. So you have to have a better record than them, and I just don't know if that's going to be the case. But I'm excited for this game because Pittsburgh has a good defensive line with TJ Watt, and the Jags go out and throw the ball out with Lawrence. So I'm expecting a big game. It's a matter of which one kind of lets the other one do their thing because TJ Watt and them are really good on the defensive line. Now, I know the back end's not great, but their defensive line is really good.
I think this is going to be another Travis Etienne game. To your point, I didn't see either of these teams being this hot. More so the Jags probably, but here we are. The Steelers, however, really don't have the same defense that they used to. They have TJ Watt, but when you look at the numbers, it's unfortunately all that they have. According to PFF, their defense is actually 19th overall, so back half of the NFL. They're ranked 18th against the run specifically, and 22nd against the pass. Trevor Lawrence knows how to throw the ball. He's already considered, in my opinion, probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Wow. So he's going to be able to pick them apart. Looks like Etienne's going to rush or be able to run against them. They do have one thing going for them, and kind of to your point, it's because of TJ Watt. They're ranked 4th overall in pressure on the quarterback. Even though the rest of the defense is that bad.
That's really funny. If you think about it, they're kind of like SC then, because I think SC has like the top 5 most pressures in the nation, but their back half of their defense is like in the bottom. I think it was like ranked 130th or something crazy like that in the country because it's that bad. So it's very similar situation on the defensive side for the Steelers. The defensive line is good, but if they don't get to the quarterback quickly because the defensive backs can't guard any wide receivers really in man-to-man especially, then the Jags are going to have their day. But Steelers being at home, I always expect, Jaguars are from Florida. They're going up into Steeler Nation. It's October going into November. It's going to be cold.
And not that cold yet.
No, but it'll be chilly. It's not going to be snowing or anything, but it's definitely going to be colder than Florida. And, don't just the Jags. I mean, the Steelers don't count out that defense. Mike Tomlin, I always know they're going to come and compete every game. So,
Well, not enough because they ranked, 19. However, Jags, to your point about defense, I do think they have actually an underrated defense, 10th overall. They are 21st against the run, so Najee Harris might be able to kind of have his way a little bit, but they are 1st against the pass. I think Pickett is going to struggle. I think Lawrence is going to be sharp, and I think that the Jags take it. I'm just going 31-20.
Okay. And, as much as I talked about the Steelers and thinking they can win it, I'm picking against them too. I'm going Jags 26-20.
Okay, so you have them putting. Okay, yeah. Okay, so they'll be close. They'll be close.
I just think defensively, the Steelers are always going to keep themselves in the game or create some kind of havoc. Although, like you said, the Jags having the top one defense on the coverage, that's crazy.
Yeah, Pickett's already a middle tier quarterback, and I think he's going to be a little bit lower this Sunday.
I can see that for sure happening.
Next game we want to talk about is also talking about quarterback missing their starting one. We got the Bengals visiting Santa Clarita and the San Francisco 49ers. However, lots of stories are saying that Brock Purdy is still going to be in concussion protocol come Sunday and that Darnold's starting. How do you see this one panning out?
That is going to change everything. I mean, it all comes down to really the system that they run more than anything else as far as who the quarterback is. But Sam Darnold, I don't know, man. He just didn't do. I just always think back to that video of him against the Patriots. I think on Monday night when he looked like he was like, "Whoa, I don't know what I even saw."
Seeing ghosts or whatever it was. Yeah,
that's what the saying was. He just, I don't know. I mean, obviously he's come a long way. He's still in the NFL, and the Niners gave him an opportunity, and he beat out Trey Lance for the backup position, so he must be decent. And Darnold wasn't terrible at SC when he had like weapons around him, so maybe he won't be that bad. It's a home game, especially. Now the Bengal defense is nothing to just like not worry about. It's legit with Hendrickson on the D line too. So it's not going to be easy, but the Niners coming back home after losing 2 games in a row on the East Coast, maybe it'll make them feel a little bit better to be home, and hopefully they have Trent Richardson out there because that would be a huge boost for Sam Darnold to have on his left tackle side.
You mean having the best left tackle in the NFL? Yeah, I agree. Exactly. Couldn't agree more. So the question is, do the Bengals hand the Niners their third straight loss, or does this Niners team really step it up and get it done? Without Brock, it's definitely going to be a struggle. I couldn't agree more. But Darnold has bounced around for a reason, stayed in the NFL, but he fits in the system, especially according to Kyle Shanahan, at least more so than the person they spent 3 first-round draft picks on in Trey Lance. So maybe it's not going to be as much of a drop-off as we talk about. Like you said, Darnold's here for a reason. He's still playing. He beat out Lance. So maybe it's not that big of a one. I think the Bengals do win, though. I think it's tight. But I think that starting quarterback, I think they kind of are starting to get it together. They've won 2 straight. They started 1-3. They've won 2 straight. Burrow's kind of starting to figure it out. Chase is, like he said, 7-Eleven, always open. And hopefully, I'm hoping just because I'm kind of over the Niners, bro, to be honest with you. Everyone talks about how Niners are and how their freaking front office is so awesome. And honestly, they do a really, really good job. But do we have to freaking like get all over them? Like, geez, bro, chill. So down for them to kind of take some hits.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that. They and it's weird. Them and the Eagles both have like these all the really good players, and you're like, how do they afford them all under the cap? I don't understand how these GMs are doing these things in the NFL these days. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Conversation. I get how the Niners are doing it. They pay Brock Purdy less than Al Michaels.
Well, so that does help the situation for sure.
Yeah, less than Al Michaels gets paid a game, let alone Brock Purdy gets paid all 17 or 16. Oh my gosh. No, 17. Yeah, sorry.
But I am with you though. I feel like Darnold, if they got rid of Lance, they must have thought something about Darnold and at least highly of him to kind of plug him in because they knew at some point, Purdy's going to get hurt. I would think most quarterbacks.
Nobody gets perfect.
Yeah, right? Nobody plays all 17 games. It seems like so. To have Darnold there, who's a veteran, he's been around. I think having a veteran team around him as well, and all those weapons, if everybody's healthy. I mean, even if Debo comes back too, that would be a huge help. But I still see the Niners winning this game, mostly because they're at home. I think that's the biggest thing for me is coming back home after 2 games on the road losing. I think they're going to be ready, and I think they go out there and kind of slow the Bengals offense down and win 27-13.
I would have agreed with you had they performed differently against the Vikings. I thought they would be pissed off to lose against a third-string quarterback and the Browns. I get the Browns are good and they have one of the best defenses. No, sorry. One, if not the best defense in the league. But I thought they were going to be mad last week, and they were in the perfect spot. Mr. I Hate Primetime was playing in primetime. It was he was without Justin Jefferson, his top quarterback. You guys were fresh off the and they didn't do it. So I think that there's still some lag. I think if Purdy was here, I think I probably would have given them the slight nod. I do think that Darnold's decent, but I think that's the difference since he takes it 2017.
Okay, much closer.
Field goal. Yeah. The last one we want to talk about. Speaking of those Browns that beat the Niners, they're playing another NFC West team, and actually the one challenging the Niners for the division crown right now.
Yeah, true.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Dang, I didn't think
about if the Seahawks win and beat the Browns when they're at home, and the Niners lose, the Seahawks will have outright first place
by a half
control of the NFC West. Huh?
By a half.
They'll be 5-2, and the Niners would be 5-3.
Wow. Dang. Well, remember the Seahawks were good last year, made the playoffs. So I guess it's not crazy that they're off to a good start, but the fact that the Niners have now lost 2 or possibly 3 in a row puts the Seahawks, and they haven't played each other yet. So which means the tiebreaker has still not been decided as far as that goes. So that's
correct.
Huge.
Yes.
But as far as
getting that half game up is big, like you said.
But this is a big game for the Browns too, because the Ravens are right there with them. If Joe Burrow and them do beat the Niners and they're 4-3, then they're right back in the thick of it. I mean, the Bengals are in last place, I think, in their division, and they're 500. So
yeah,
it's a tough division, the AFC North. So if the Browns can win and go 5-2, that puts them in a good spot and kind of battle with Baltimore at the top of the division to start here. But I don't know. Like I said, I feel like, man, the Browns that defense is so good, but it's going to be hard to play in Seattle. Seattle's defense is also not great, but it's pretty good. But Geno Smith against that Browns D, man, I don't know if that's going to go very well for them. I think with Myles Garrett being the beast he is, and especially the last couple of weeks, they have just. I think you said they had 1,000 yards basically given up in the first 5 games of the season.
5 games, dude. 1,007 or 1,002 or something like that. 1,000 in single digit.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if Myles Garrett and the defense does their thing again this weekend, because Geno Smith is okay but not great, and they stop the running from who's the running back there? Washington, right? Walker the third. If they can get him to slow down and Myles Garrett has a great day, I see the Browns going in there and sneaking one out, man. 21-17. I think they can get out of there with a win.
I think the Browns can get out of here with a win too. The only thing that keeps them close is their defense, though. I think Seattle's defense takes advantage of whoever is playing, because it's probably not Deshaun. So
yeah, true.
And even when he does play, he gets hurt and then doesn't play anyways.
Dang, I forgot about that part.
But I think it's pretty close. I do think it's close. I think it's like another field goal game. I'm going like 16-13.
Oh, low scoring. Both defenses showing up.
Yes, sir. Because Seattle knows what they're doing at home with the 12th man.
Yeah,
I think Geno will be able to maybe have possession, maybe get like 2-3 first downs, have to punt. You know what I mean? Then Seattle's defense only holds them to maybe 1 first down. So I think maybe they win possession, but ultimately can't kind of get over the top. Browns maybe have a nice turnover to set the defense up in a good position for an extra possession, whether that be a field goal or a touchdown. That's why they barely win, kind of thing. That's
okay. That makes sense. It could be one of those games too where the defenses are both really good and kind of put each other's offenses already in their opponent's area and our zone and can get field goals or at least a touchdown off a short yardage to start.
Yeah. Moving outside of the field and into the court, finally, for the first time in our View from the Bench history, we will be talking about regular season basketball. Not that will be happening, but that has happened. We have a couple of images from opening nights across the league. The Lakers opened up against the Nuggets as they got the rings.
Yep.
We took the L there. Kind of saw that one coming. They obviously just swept us out of the playoffs just a couple months ago, so no reason why that would change. The Suns and the Warriors matched up, oddly, because I'm pretty sure the schedule was released before Chris Paul went there. So it was pretty good. The Suns won that game. Like I said, the Nuggets won. What did you see from the Lakers that I predicted initially would start 0-3? Right now we're 1-1. What have you seen?
Yeah, you're already wrong. See, we just keep jinxing things on here on this podcast.
Apparently. More to come, too. Just you wait.
but the opening night thing with the Lakers, I mean, I honestly didn't expect them to win. I know everyone talks about ring night and that can be a thing, but Denver's pretty focused. It's basically the same team. They've just lost Jeff Green and the other guy that went to Indiana. I can't remember his name right now, but they only lost 2 pieces. They basically have the same squad coming back. They've been a tight knit group for a long time.
Bruce Brown.
Thank you.
Sorry.
There's guys that have been there for a while, so they know what they're doing. Their system is, Lakers have a couple new guys, even though they have some continuity, which they're not used to. The first couple games take them to figure out how to plug in the new guys regardless. So I'm not really shocked that they lost in Denver.
Especially one of them being in the starting lineup, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they'll be fine. I'm not worried. They won tonight, like we talked about. So not a big deal.
1-1, baby.
Hey, as long as they don't start 2-10 like last year, and it's like if they start even 5-5, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. That's better than 2-7 or 2-8 or some crazy out of it. So just kind of figure them things out, groove it in. It's early. Last year Utah was, I think, started off like in first place after a month, and then they didn't make the playoffs. So let's just take a breath after the first
fat fall off. That's for dang sure. Well, I finally got to wear this shirt. I'm just gonna show everybody because I freaking love it.
Oh yeah,
so sick. 3-peat, Kobe, Shaq, rest in peace. Not Shaq. You're still here, thank goodness. Sorry, just Cobes. But yeah, finally got to rock the shirt. Oof, I love it. But getting into basketball season, happy to see the Lakers going. Got a couple other games that started. Kristaps obviously wearing some ugly green for the first time, besides the New York Knicks alternate. The Wemby, the Grim Reaper, or whatever the heck he's called. Gigantic man.
True.
He's tall.
Gonna be?
I don't know. Wemby. That's the nickname. Russ just dominating and impressing kids like Scoot with his magical dunk powers. Zion dunking on the defensive player of the year. James Harden saying, you know what? I don't want to be on the plane. No, I do want to be on the plane. And then they say, no, you can't come on the plane. So many NBA storylines. Tell me which one and give me one you want to start with.
Well, the first one I want to start with is Wemby because I don't know, man. I didn't expect him to necessarily be that good right away, but then I start reading. He already added like 20 pounds of muscle on since he got drafted, and you could see it last night. His face seems a little more fuller, and he's a little bigger out there, but he's still so scrawny. I'm always afraid he's going to get tangled up and his legs.
Just gotta shove some McDonald's down his throat. That's what he's been doing, just eating American food. He's down the street at Whataburger over in Texas, just freaking shoveling
whatever.
Cheeseburgers.
Get some barbecue in you, like beef up, man. But I think in the long run, though, that he's going to be really good if he can stay healthy. And the Spurs, unfortunately, that means they're going to be good because even if he's not trying and he just puts his hand up, he's got a reach of just impossible to shoot over almost. Like he's going to get a couple blocks a game. He'll probably be the highest blocks in the game for a rookie, at least this year, if not in history. I mean, depending on.
I was going to say, do you think he ends his career like health? Let's consider health a guarantee. Yeah. I know it's not, but even if it's, what I mean is like continued health, not necessarily no early career-ending injuries, or he only gets to play 8 years because of something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's just say he has like a good 12-year career, right? Do you think he ends with like most blocks, if not at least highest average?
Maybe not most, but yeah, he should definitely have a high. I mean, the fact that even if his say his guy's in the corner of the 3-point line and he's like stretching out because there's the ball's on the other side. If they pass it around, he doesn't have to take the normal 3 or 4 steps that guys would have to take in order to get back and put a hand up in their face. It's like one, and then the second stride, he's there. Like
he's jumping.
The reach is just going to be. I mean, I don't know if you saw the video about the Mavericks practicing with one of the coaches holding a huge pad up because they just know that you can't go up and under if he's following you like you can with most players. You have to be aware of where he is. I mean, his wingspan's 8 feet. Like, it's crazy.
That's nuts.
So I don't know. I'm just excited to see what he can do, what he kind of changes the game. I mean, this is the future of the game. These big guys who can move and dribble the ball and shoot.
And Chet.
Yeah, Chet Holmgren's another one. And they're in the same division, I think. So they're going to play each other a lot, and it's going to be for the next decade.
That'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Did you see that? Did you see that Wemby had like basically the same game as Tim
in his first game? You mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not shocking. They're playing for Popovich. There's a system.
But I mean, like in Tim's first game and Wemby's first game, they both scored 15 points. They both shot 6 for 9, and they both had 2 assists.
Oh, like exactly the same stat line.
They like literally 15 points, 6 of 9 shooting, and 2 assists. Maybe they had different rebounds. Probably that's probably why it wasn't included in the stat. But yeah, same exact. Those 3 stat lines were the same exact as Tim Duncan and Victor Wembanyama. Yeah,
I'm surprised he only shot the ball 9 times. Actually, kind of shocks me.
Yeah, he didn't shoot it at all in like the last like either the fourth quarter or like the last like half of the fourth quarter, some weird stat like that.
Because we know Luka took over in the fourth quarter basically and got them out of there with a win for the Mavericks, which, Luka doing his thing, and he looks good. He's lost some weight and done some working out in the offseason, which everyone's always talked about. He always comes into camp kind of out of shape and not ready to go. But the biggest question in Dallas is going to be with him and Kyrie, though. Can they make that work and actually win? Because last year they brought Kyrie in at the deadline and then they just fell apart and didn't make the playoffs. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the Mavericks are this year, what they can do.
Well, it was a good start then that Luka took the game-winning or game-daggering shot then in San Antonio, because if not, maybe the team riots because, they're all behind Kyrie. Kyrie's our closer. No, Luka's the closer. We don't know who knows, right? So luckily that happened. Nobody's getting mad. Luka's not throwing a tantrum. It's a nice shot, by the way.
Yeah,
of course he could shoot.
Which,
guy's a beast.
You mentioned it. Nobody's getting mad or anything. Did you hear about the Chicago Bulls thing? Like after
yes,
so they have
one game,
and then they decided to have a players only meeting. What happened from yesterday to today? Like what is going to change after one game? They have to have a meeting. What happened in that game?
Dude, why do you have to have such a crazy meeting? Like, to your point, what's crazy is they lost. They played the Thunder. Yeah, the Thunder have a good freaking team, bro. Shai Gilgeous is like an all NBA player. Chet Holmgren is gonna fight Wemby for Rookie of the Year. He's not gonna win it because they have to give it to Wemby. It's like unless Wemby gets hurt.
Wemby play enough games?
Yeah, that's the only thing. If he doesn't play enough games, or if he gets hurt, or if he doesn't play enough games because he gets hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's going to be fighting. So that's a good freaking team, actually. They made the playoffs or play-in last year.
Yeah.
They didn't make the playoffs, but they made the play-in last year. So they're not a terrible team to, lose to. And the Bulls, I'm pretty sure they either made the play-in and lost.
I believe so.
Or they didn't make it at all. So it's not like who are you? I got 3 seed last year. Like, wow, we lost to the Thunder. We gotta really figure this out, guys. Like, y'all are both the same average team. So the fact that you lost just means you're more average than them. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
And again, I think it's the fact that it's one game. Like,
what is there even to talk about?
Exactly. We had one game. We haven't even watched the film yet. And we're having a players only meeting. What are we doing? We have to play
this shit together, bro.
We only have 81 games left. 15 games, and you got to be like 2-13, and then it's like, okay. We got to have a meeting because this is the turning point. We either figure this shit out and we turn it around and compete, or we're going to be done for the rest of the year. Like, there's no coming back from this. So after one game, I don't know why the alarms are going off. And it's weird because DeMar DeRozan's on that team. It's not like it's a bunch of kids on that team. There's some veterans there that have been around the block, and it's just very strange.
Zach LaVine.
Yeah. Vucevic. Like, they got some
guys. Our guy. Oh, my gosh. Our guy. What's our guy?
Yeah.
Alex Caruso.
Oh, yeah. Caruso. That's true.
Drummond. I think he's back there. Or is he with the Cavs?
He is. No, Drummond is there. You are correct.
Yeah. Vucevic, all the guys, like, that's a vet team. So maybe that's why they're just like, all guys, all right, well, fuck our coach. We just need to figure this out. I mean, as Billy Donovan as head coach still, right? Has he lost control of the locker room already after one game?
Coaching? Wow, I did not even think about that.
Is he not?
I mean, he could be, but I really just haven't even thought about him. I guess the Bulls haven't been on my radar in the last few years. I kind of forgot about Billy Donovan altogether.
I think he is.
Wow. Okay. Well, then maybe
currently the head coach.
So then maybe that's the problem. Maybe they don't necessarily trust him. If that's the case, that's even a worse situation than
after one game. They're like, we got to figure this out ourselves, guys. Players only. Like, damn, that seems like they're jumping the gun. If you ask me,
that's not good. You know what though? Speaking of coaching, Donovan, I don't realize, but good coach in the NBA who just got an extension is Rick Carlisle in Indiana. Man,
nice. Congrats, Rick.
I don't understand how they let him go the first time. I know he ended up going to Dallas and they won the title, and now he's back in Indiana. But getting the extension, they have a nice young squad there with Halliburton. And I mean, even I know that Buddy Hield's not signed beyond the season, but Buddy Hield's a nice weapon to have in the corner off of Halliburton. And Miles Turner's really good. They have a nice little squad that, I mean, in the Eastern Conference, maybe they can make it in the play-in, if not the playoffs as a 6 seed. So I'm excited. I mean, good, like you said, congrats to Rick Carlisle. Although he was a Celtic and won a ring back in the day as a player as a Celtic, I think.
We don't talk about that. I'm talking about his coaching.
He didn't play much. He was on the bench a lot.
That's okay. But yeah, no, he did good. Speaking of the Celtics, they look good. I don't want to talk about them, though. They're dumb.
It's one.
I just want them to go 0-82. I just want them to go 0-82.
That's never going to happen.
Well, Dreams are dreams. Jeez. Another dream of some kids is to become an NBA All-Star. All-Star news this week. What's his name? Silver decided to throw it back old school. East-West again. What do you care? What do you think? Anything?
Yeah, no, I don't care. The All-Star game means nothing to me. I don't like preseason games. Like
especially the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, I don't care. Gosh. Like it's not a big deal. It does not matter to me. It's not real. It's not like even when I have to work the preseason games for the Ducks, I like fans or my staff members like, oh, they won today. I'm like, these games don't count. Like I don't care if they won or if they lost. I just don't want anybody to get hurt. Like let's just get to the real games where they count, and then I'm gonna be into it 100%. But these All-Star games and like you said, basketball especially, it's like nobody plays defense for 3.5 quarters. Like now we're going back to East and West. Are we going back to just 4 quarters of basketball and not the way we've been doing it the last couple of years as well?
With like the weird points, and then in the fourth quarter, if you have this many points, then you stop where you're at, and then you have to add more points, and you're just like, bro, what?
Like, what are we doing?
It's just literally, it's just a layup line anyways, dude. It's honestly just a stupid thing.
Yeah.
People should just do more of, I don't know. Maybe they should make an East versus West and have like a bunch of other like skill challenges.
You know what you do?
Or something.
You scrap All-Star Weekend. Just all of it. I know it's a big money maker. Scrap it. Instead of All-Star Weekend, do your stupid in-season tournament in a week in somewhere. Go to Vegas and have everybody come into town and use multiple arenas. You got UNLV, you've got T-Mobile, you've got the other one that's a little smaller, but you can fill all of them and have like a March Madness field tournament just randomly in the middle of the season for a weekend. And then let's move on. Like at least those games would be real teams that know each other and can play schemes. The All-Star game, it's all guys just like up and down, or it's practice. Nobody cares. I don't get it.
I don't mind the idea of shoving the tournament instead of it being as part of your regular season one. I don't mind shoving it into one weekend. However, I think it's a little bit like the Major League Baseball All-Star weekend, where it's time off for most players. So if you have them all go to a tournament, that's the only thing.
Off. Yeah, that's true.
So not most teams don't get the whole time off because they're also playing.
I know it makes them money, but it's mostly it makes them money because the TV rights deals to just broadcast all this stuff. But like the fans, like a lot of it's like corporate people. It's like the Super Bowl. The tickets are mostly corporate. It's not all fans of the teams because a lot of the sections are only
friends of people who know people.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like nobody. It's just a celebrity appearance game that everybody shows up to it. And some cities that they go to, like Utah, and nobody wants to go there. But the NBA, I'm sure, is like, come on, it's gonna be a big, let's make money off it. I don't get it. It's annoying. It's never gonna not happen because of the money aspect. I get it, but
since it's not gonna happen, one thing that I would like to see changed, man, is honestly, what I liked is when the players wore their away / home jersey color. So like you had a light color, that was what East did, or you'd had like the dark color, that's what West did, whatever it was, and you switch each year. That way,
Well, part of the problem is there's no home and road jerseys anymore either. So
there's so many.
We should start there.
Still,
like, I mean, there's wear the gold on the road all the time. Like they're wearing.
Wore it last night.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing here? Can we? And like, I think Kuzma tweeted about it a week ago or two because every year it's a new city edition jersey, new city. Like, can we give it a break every couple years at least? Like once every 3 years, can we have a new jersey? We don't have to do it every single fall. It's like
you should still have a majority of your games be home and away.
Yeah, like every other
Sunday
sport.
Whites. I liked having Sunday whites. Now we wear white whenever.
Yeah. Now they're just randomly on a road game, they're going to be wearing gold or they'll be wearing whites, and then when they come home, they're wearing purple. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. What are we doing?
And they wear the black Mamba one sometimes, and then they have the light blue Minneapolis, and it's just like, I like the difference of jerseys, but like, let's also like have them. I don't know.
Like, I should be able to turn the TV on, and based on the jerseys the teams are wearing and the names on the scoreboard at the bottom, I should know which team is which. If the teams are wearing jersey colors that don't normally have anything to do with their color scheme and their names are on the screen, I don't know who I'm watching or who I'm rooting for, and it's freaking annoying. Like
the Warriors City Edition with the tree with the black jersey.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Those aren't black.
I don't know who is who on the court sometimes. Like, can we just get back to a home, a road, an alternate? I know that sounds like weird, but I'm also working, so I get the money part. But geez,
yeah. Other things that happened this week, couple more things before we wrap up basketball. Suns actually fine because of their free agency timing. They lost a second-round pick. You know what I don't get, bro? Is like isn't this just like a stupid fine, but they still get to do whatever they want? Like nothing happened. They still get the player. They still get to talk to them. I think I lose a second-round pick. Okay, well, who cares? It's just a second-round pick. Like no one even like. It's very rare that second-round picks mean anything. True. So I just think it's a stupid thing. Have them do something worse. Have them
lose a first-round pick.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty crazy. But yeah,
well, make it something that they won't. I bet it's also stupid because we talk about this every year that free agency comes up. Like, oh, nobody can sign or talk to anybody until 3 p.m. on this day. And then as soon as that hits,
12:01,
75 deals are signed. You're like, okay, so nobody was talking. And in 1 minute, they're like, oh, here's a contract. Cool. Sounds good. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to
perfect. Sounds great. Thank you very much. Come on. Nobody's going to read this. Great. Stupid. I'm sure you have my best interest there.
Yeah. This is stupid. Like, it's dumb. It's dumb. But it is what it is. 100%. And the other thing that's dumb and weird is this Harden situation, man. This thing's getting weirder and weirder. I don't know if he's actually going to play a game at all this year.
I hope that he doesn't with the Sixers at least. And I hope that he eventually gets traded to the Clippers.
Yes.
I hope the Clippers trade as much of their best talent as possible to the Sixers or wherever, because I know it might be a 3-team trade or whatever, 4-team, who cares, to get him. Please and thank you.
Yes, that would be awesome. I would love to watch Harden and Russ and PG and Kawhi and Zubac, and then I don't know who else they really would have beyond that. I mean, they'd have to give up a couple pieces like Powell, and definitely Terrence Mann is going to have to go. The Sixers are not going to part with anything of Harden unless they get Terrence Mann. That's like the starting point. So until the Clippers cave on that, we're just going to sit here and talk about Harden wanting to go to practice and the team saying, nah, we're good, and then him being like, okay, I want to go home, and then oh, we're going to go on the road. I'll come at least on the road trip with you guys, but I won't play. And then they're like, nah, we don't want you on the plane. You can stay here and train with the guys on the 2-way contracts because we're not going to play you. Like, what is, I don't know, man. It's weird. The Morey situation.
It's getting ugly.
The fact that him and Morey were close buds and now they just calling each other. He's calling him a liar out in public earlier a couple months ago. And all, it's a mess. Good luck.
We covered that in one of our previous episodes. If you want to check us out, they're all posted on Spotify, Apple Music, and on YouTube. Well, not all of them on YouTube. We got only a couple on YouTube. Go check it out. But I couldn't agree more. I'm hoping he goes, and I'm hoping he ruins that org as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Tear it down.
Last thing in basketball is actually kind of a cross between football and basketball. Myles Garrett is buying a minority stake in the Cleveland Cavaliers. Thoughts?
Smart. A lot of these athletes that get big money these days, Pat Mahomes included, buy small minority stakes in other franchises because it's basically the sports are only going to keep growing, especially basketball and football, the main 4 sports. They're going to have new TV deals and streaming deals here shortly, so it'll just continue to grow. It's kind of a retirement plan in the sense for Myles Garrett. Make as much as you can while you're a player. Put some into this as an investment, essentially, and maybe one day, I don't know if it'll be him or somebody else, but somebody as a former player, besides Michael Jordan, I guess, in the NBA, will own another team, if not an NFL team for sure.
I saw a thing that I think it was on Westbrook that he's buying a bunch of stuff and he's starting to own things and like that. His plan is he eventually wants to become a billionaire. So that works out.
Doing the Magic Johnson thing at that point, then.
Yeah, but good for Myles Garrett. Good for him. It's an investment that's only going to keep going up, like you said. But with all these TV deals, NFL, more specifically the NFL, and then probably the NBA.
Yeah.
But Major League Baseball and NHL as well. You know who's actually coming up soon to WNBA, bro? They're starting to grow.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. We saw those amount of fans that were at Game 4 in New York for the WNBA Finals compared to a game just a couple years ago. It was astronomical. Lit. Fans with chanting and towels and like full house. It was awesome to see, and hopefully it continues. And now with them adding that team in San Francisco too, that'll only help.
Yeah, it will. It was a good game too. Came down with the last shot.
Yeah.
It was an air ball, so it was a horrible shot. Sorry to call you out, but
it happens.
You know who you are. All right, so let's get to some baseball, man. And you know what? We probably wouldn't be talking about baseball as much, or at least as in depth.
Yeah, in depth for sure.
If it wasn't for our team still being alive, man. Diamondbacks are going to the World Series. Like we got that surprise little podcast. We just had to talk about it. Going to the World Series. Game 1 and 2 are in Arlington.
Man.
How do you see some of this unfolding? Before we get to the predictions and stuff, how do you see some of this unfolding?
Well, I'm super excited, first of all, because, we talked about the last time they were in the World Series, it was 2001. We were in junior high. So it's a little different way and that was the 4th year of the existence of the team. They were stacked with Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling. That was like a legit team that people knew about and feared the entire season. This is a team that nobody talked about, barely snuck in on the last day, basically. Possibly couldn't have been in if one play wouldn't have gone their way in another game between the opponents.
The Cubs game, right?
The Cubs one is the one that comes to mind. Like, there's just these little nuances of how they got there, and I mean, it's not going to be easy. Obviously, Texas is really good. They just mowed over a lot of good teams in the AL to get here, especially the defending champion Astros. I don't know. I feel like it's going to go 6 or 7, which means it's not going to end in Arizona, unfortunately. But I think it can go either way. I was telling you earlier, I think Jeff Passan was talking about the Diamondbacks were number 2 in stolen bases in baseball, and the Rangers were like 27th. And in home runs, the Astros were like 4th. I mean, the Rangers were 4th or so. So definitely top 5, and Diamondbacks were like 20th. So it's a completely different style of play between the two teams and the way they go about things. I know there's a Bleacher Report did like a breakdown of position by position who had the better one, Rangers or Diamondbacks, and they gave the Rangers 9 out of 11 of the spots. So they're not picking us to win. They haven't picked the Diamondbacks to win. They've been underdogs this entire ride.
No worries.
I mean, it'll be fun. The fact that we are here and have an opportunity. We took down the Dodgers in a sweep as part of getting here in that tour. There's that weird thing about the teams that lose to the Brewers in the playoffs, and they all go either to the World Series at least or win it. So I'm hoping that's what happens.
I'm excited, very nervous. That's basically what I'm at. They have insane bats and great starting pitching. So like I said, I'm nervous, but I'm excited. The only place they really lack is their bullpen. More of their bullpen depth. They have some arms. But Bochy really likes riding with his starters as long as possible, and for good reason. He has good ones.
Yeah.
The only one, I think the one that I'm most excited to watch actually is like Zach Gallen versus Montgomery is going to be pretty good.
Not Montgomery.
I forgot who their second starting. Huh?
It's not Montgomery game 1.
Oh, who's going game 1?
It's Eovaldi. It's Nathan Eovaldi.
Okay. Oh, Eovaldi. Yeah, that's okay. That kind of makes sense. He's got the experience.
So I would assume Montgomery will go game 2 against Merrill Kelly.
Yeah. So,
see, that changes things.
Okay, so check this out. So I was watching a podcast. I forgot who it was, but Trevor Plouffe is on it.
So it's a John Boy Media.
Yes,
something.
Yes, that one. And they were talking about how they were trying to break it down a little bit, and they have a lot of the analytics and stuff, and they know what to kind of look for, especially Trevor as a former player.
Yeah, absolutely. He was good.
And he was very good. Minnesota, right? Twins?
Yeah, third baseman.
Yeah. And one of the things that they were talking about is that Eovaldi he throws a splitter, which a lot of people don't throw anymore. And since the Diamondbacks have a very young team, they were talking about how that might be a little bit more difficult for them to track because it's something they don't see very often.
Interesting.
Then they looked up like Corbin Carroll specifically because they were looking, and they saw that he actually apparently hits it pretty well against any of the pitchers that have pitched a splitter to him. I think he has a hit off of all of them.
Okay. So, well, I think if I remember right, the Diamondbacks did win the series against the two of these teams in the regular season, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they won. I want to say it was like 3-2 or 4-3 even. Like I think they won the season series. Not that matters because I think it was back in June. It's a completely different team for the Diamondbacks, especially
even ours.
Even the Rangers before the trade deadline.
And it didn't matter against the Phillies because we lost that one 4-3. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Diamondbacks in 7. I don't want to be too confident and say that we're just gonna take it in 6 early. I'm not gonna pick against my boys. I just don't really like making predictions because I'm superstitious. But again, I can't really pick against my boys.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not picking against them either.
Hey, speaking of my boys, it's official. Corey and I, your boys, we're going. Woo. We're going to Arizona. Game 3. We will be there on Monday.
We will be.
Want to let everybody know it's not going to be a recording. Obviously, we're no episode because we're going to be at the game, so not going to be here. So make sure to follow us on Instagram at Our View from the Bench or Our View FTB as we give updates from our day at Game 3 and all that kind of stuff. Just can't wait, dude. Can't wait. You excited?
I'm super excited. And honestly, I'm with you. I think they can win in 6 even. But if they do win in 7, this is a weird thing. Game 7 is scheduled for November 4th. So if it goes to Game 7 and they have to play in it, it would be 22 years to the day that they won Game 7 against the Yankees in 2001.
Damn it! I said Game 7. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
so,
and who? Okay, so what kind of good lefties do we have? Because Luis Gonzalez was the one who hit something. So we got Corbin Carroll. I mean, maybe Corbin
Carroll or Marte if it's a right-handed pitcher.
Okay, so last. Oh yeah, true. Before we move on with a little bit more baseball that we want to talk about, last thing I want to talk about is something I forgot to write. I was looking the other day, and Bruce Bochy, obviously with the Giants, and before that, he was the manager of the Padres.
San Diego Padres.
He has basically gone to the World Series for all 3 of those. But here's the note. He's only won on even years.
Ooh, that's right. Although he did lose in 98 when he was coaching the Padres to the Yankees. But you're talking about his wins with the Giants was 10, 12, 14. So we are in an odd-numbered year. Diamondbacks did win an odd-number year in 2001, so maybe there's something to that. I don't know. I'll take whatever we can get on our side right now.
I'm just, I'm trying to find the little nuggets. Find the little nuggets. He had the, 2010, 12, and 14, was it?
Yep, 10, 12, 14.
With the Giants? Yeah. So just want to throw that out there. Last baseball note, though. Dusty Baker, manager of the Astros, who were recently eliminated by the Rangers in Game 7 in stunning fashion, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they took it to him.
Has announced that he's retiring. He's got over 20 years as a manager alone. Stops with the Giants, obviously, Cubs, Reds, Nationals, and then here with the Astros. What a great guy. What a great guy.
Everybody's always said good things. I know he won a title as a player with the Dodgers back in 81, so people in LA actually really like Dusty, which is kind of funny. When he was coaching the Giants, he kind of had to go against him for all those years. But being the first coach to win an AL NL pennant, it's crazy. He's done a lot in his career, and it's some of the weird facts I looked up that I've heard a few of these things before, but some of the places he was in or things he was a part of that you look back at the history of baseball, it's kind of crazy. He was on the team with the Braves when Hank Aaron hit number 715. He was on deck watching him hit number 715. There's a story going around from, I think it's from the late 70s, where him and teammate Glenn Burke on the Dodgers high-fived, and that's been talked about as like the first high five, possibly. It hasn't been disputed by some people, but it's one of those stories. He was also the coach of the Cubs when the Steve Bartman thing happened in 2003. That was his team.
Ouch.
First manager in Major League history to lead 5 different teams to division titles. Sorry. He's not the first. He was the 9th to win both an AL and NL pennant. 12th manager and first African-American manager with 2,000 victories. 50 postseason victories, which is first among African-American coaches. Oldest manager to appear in and win the world. I mean, just all the accolades. Dusty is a baseball lifer. He's been he's one of those guys. He always has like some good pressers and some funny sayings because he's kind of an old school guy. But yeah, it's just been a lot of fun basically our entire life watching him coach and just be a part of baseball. So it'll be interesting to see now that he's retired. Does he do any kind of TV work, or does he just completely just kind of disappear at this point?
I think he has the personality for it, but I don't think he's going to do it. I think that he should just kind of take the time, get away. You've been in baseball your entire life. Yeah. Take the time and call it one. Fantastic job, dude. Always been a fan of Dusty. Glad you weren't a part of that part of the Astros. You're part of the only legitimate ring that they have.
Yep.
Because I would have obviously looked at him a little bit differently if he was. So glad I don't have to. But yeah, bravo to you, Dusty. Congratulations on a great career. And I do hope you enjoy your time right now. If you want to be in the booth, I applaud you and I hope that you are. But
I'm thinking about it now, though.
Take it off, man.
Probably won't, because I think his son's in the minor leagues for, I don't remember which franchise. I want to say the Nationals. So maybe he'll spend some time just watching his boy play in the minors and work his way up to the majors.
I like Dusty, man. He's a good dude. So I'm happy that he's moving on. I'm glad that the Astros are out of here. So it's kind of a win-win.
True. Very good point.
We're going to move on as well. And by moving on, we move all the way on. We're moving all the way on to the end of the episode. Honestly, man, we're just so excited. There's a couple other things to cover. We're just really stoked. We're going to cover the normal segment that we have towards the end of the week. We're going to talk about something that happened historically. But other than that, we're going to call it here. So let's get right to it. This week in sports history. This week in sports history. So this week in sports history, got a couple for you. Since baseball's wrapping up, we have something about baseball. And since basketball's just starting, we've got something about basketball. We're going to start with basketball because it's starting. On this date, the date we're recording, October 26, 1984, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton all make their NBA debut on the same night.
Wow.
Pretty legendary night for the NBA, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's a nice trio. And then, the 1984 draft class has always been talked about as one of the best. I know we looked it up earlier, and Hakeem Olajuwon's also part of it, so he must have played on a different night. Otherwise, they would all made the same debut or the same day. But that's quite a trio on day one.
Not bad. The second one that we're moving into, like I said, baseball. Since it's wrapping up, we'll wrap up with this, but it's also about the World Series. On this date in 2004, tomorrow, Friday, October 27th, 2004, the Boston Red Sox are World Series champions at long last. Johnny Damon homers on the fourth pitch of the game, and Derek Lowe makes a great start. Red Sox win the game 3-0, and they sweep the Cardinals for their first title since 1918. Almost 100 years.
Over.
Yep. The great Bambino is no more. Well, no offense to you. I know he's passed, but I mean the curse, like you said.
Yeah, the curse is gone. I remember, dude, that game 4 against Boston ALCS when Dave Roberts gets the steal. Against the Yankees, gets the steal and just turns that whole series up. And that famous clip of Kevin Millar, like, don't let us get this one because then we got Pedro and then we got Schilling and then game 7. It's just like,
and that's
not only that, they win 4 in a row to win that series, and then they sweep the Cardinals in the World Series. They go on an 8-game win streak to win the whole thing and just blow Boston's mind. I mean, it's amazing.
Once they came back and the unthinkable against it's just a sweet, perfect justice to Red Sox. I mean, they still have 27 titles that they hang above your head forever, but it has to be perfect justice that of all the teams that you could make a 3-0 comeback to, it was your arch nemesis. Then you go on to just sweep. Like that was the ode. That was the thing saying this is going to happen this year.
Yep.
What better way to do it than come back from something so historic than being down 3-0 and sweeping the Yankees? Sweeping the Yankees.
Not only doing it against, like you said, the Yankees as your rival, but the Yankees had made the World Series the year before in 2003 because Aaron Boone had that walk-off Game 7 winner against the Red Sox in the ALCS. So if you look at it, the Yankees were in the World Series in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2003, and we're trying to go back again in 2004. Like that would have been 6 in like 7 or 8 years. It's the not only to beat them, but to stop that dynasty and really put it down because they never made it back to a World Series until 2009 again.
10. Yeah, 9? I thought they won 10.
2009 when they beat the Phillies. So
whatever.
Stupid. It's crazy. It's crazy to think, but that was a great series comeback. And, then they won 2 more, I think, in the next 10 years in the city of Boston as a Red Sox.
They did. They won in 2013. Actually, I went to a game that year. I went to a Diamondbacks Red Sox game in Boston. It was actually the day, or it was around my birthday. It was awesome. And then they won. And then that World Series win was actually the first time that they clinched a World Series at home. Yeah.
Not the first time, but the first time they swept the Colorado Rockies in Colorado too. So dang, so they won in 04, 2007. What'd you say? 2000 what?
13.
And then what? 2018 as well. Dang, 4 since they got that curse off their back. That's awesome.
Good for them because I'm rooting for them. Always rooting against the Yankees.
Yeah. Always.
You can find a bunch more of these facts. We try to do one every other episode. Tell me where we can find these, bro.
You can always find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and obviously on YouTube as well, just by searching Our View from the Bench.
Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at OurViewFTB. This is extra important this week. Again, we don't have an episode on Monday. We're going to Game 3 of the World Series. We'll be dropping live updates and all sorts of things from Arizona. Also, what do you think about this Thursday thing? Feels kind of good, no?
Yeah, I'm kind of liking it. We come on, we're watching football and getting ready for the show. It's kind of like our Monday situation as well. So I think we're going to start doing Mondays and Thursdays moving forward as our regular scheduled days. Obviously, Duck schedule and concerts will affect us on some weeks, but
of course,
if we have a normal week as far as availability, we're gonna try doing this Monday Thursday thing. I think moving forward.
So again, you can find us online at any time, but if you want the newest updates, they'll be dropping Mondays and Thursdays as much as we can. So I would ask how your weekend's looking, but I know you're working, and I know what you're doing on Monday. So how busy are you before Monday?
Yeah, busy before Monday for sure. I'm working. The biggest thing really is I'm working Jonas Brothers on Sunday, and not only am I working it, it's my settlement. So I'm in charge of all the check-in and getting the numbers taken care of, making sure we match and all that good stuff. So it's gonna be a long day on Sunday, but get out of there at a decent time, get home, and get a good 6 or 7 hours of sleep, and then get on the road to Arizona because we got a game on Monday night, and it starts at 5 p.m.
Oh, we do, bro. I am not taking your crazy path. I'm going to head out early. My parents do live out there, so I will be heading out and staying there on Sunday evening. I'll be probably heading out like Sunday afternoon. Hopefully get there by like 7 is the goal. 6 or 7 is the goal. And then kind of just stay the night, relax that day. I'm going to need to, in order for me to drive back that late at night, I'm going to need to chill that day and not have the crazy drive. So
I'm going to be,
but I'm stoked, bro. First World Series game that we've been to. It happens to be our team. We're going to our stadium. It's not like they're playing like I know they wouldn't play the Dodgers, so I'll just say the Angels.
Yeah.
And we're going, down the street to see our no, we're going to like the house, baby.
We're gonna be in the snake pit, as I would like to say, and with all the fans and hopefully a lot of red and not very much Texas red. And honestly, I just hope we don't come home on Monday to a 2-0 deficit. As long as it's 1-1 or even 2-0 the other way for us, that'd be great. But I would take a 1-1 split so we can go in there with some good vibes and everybody on it, really excited.
Not like on our heels and like on pins and needles.
Exactly.
Like, we have to win this game.
Yeah, exactly. I want us to be like feeling good and then the crowd to be excited. I know they're doing watch parties all weekend for game 1 tomorrow and Saturday in Phoenix. So just excited to get out there. And we talked about never been to a World Series game. I've actually, in my work, I got to work the NBA Finals for the Lakers Celtics back in 2010. I've worked the Stanley Cup Final when the Ducks won the Cup. I got to work in ALCS when the Angels actually lost to the Yankees in 2009. So this will be my first World Series in general. But I'm just, like you said, it's our team and then our stadium, and we're doing it, man. I'm excited. I'm stoked, and everybody's excited for us because nobody here is Diamondback fans where we're from. So everybody knows.
So they're just like, we're the only ones. Got this right here. We're ready to freaking go.
Yep, I got to figure out which one I'm taking and what hat I'm taking, and I'm gonna put on some podcasts and drive out there Monday morning and be ready to go.
Dude, I'm gonna buy that snake hat where they're biting the ball. I'm buying one of those out there. Yeah, dude, those are so sick.
We'll have to go by the store and see what they got. I don't know how much I want to spend since we spent a good penny to get in there, but
a little penny to get in. Sorry,
it's worth it, man. This is
heck yeah, dude. Once in a lifetime.
Heck yeah,
100%.
So that's how.
Thank you all for hanging out. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Thank you all for hanging out, seeing things from our view from the bench. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace. D-backs on the World Series. Let's fucking go.